who is the Tidelands queen, and also mer people who are in the drug smuggling business. There's a lot going on here and a lot of naked people. I'm digging it. Let's get into it. Netflix original new series Tidelands Season 1 review and breakdown. Hey y'all, it's your Twisted Girl Next Door here, and today I am doing the review and breakdown of Season 1 of Tidelands, which is the Netflix original series about the mer people. The mer people. And basically this is spoiler filled because I assume if you are watching this one that you have watched the Season 1. But if you haven't watched Season 1, I have done a video, a spoiler-free review overview of the series to let you know if you should check it out or not. And you can check that out by following the link, which I will put down in the description of this video. Okay, so a lot happened this 8-episode season of mer people who basically are in the drug smuggling business and also maybe possibly wanting to get rid of mankind. A lot happening. Overall, I really enjoyed this season. I think I said it in another video that I think this is a guilty pleasure kind of show. I think if you are someone who ever watched True Blood or The Vampire Diaries before it went to crap, and things of that nature, because it did go to crap after Season 4. But if you are someone who are, into that kind of show, then you would really enjoy this because it's interpersonal stuff, pretty people doing things that are supernatural and cool. I think that's cool. And so I really enjoyed it. Okay, so the pros of this season, one that stands out the most to me was Adriel, the Tideland queen. She was definitely the standout to me. The performance that Elsa, the actress, gives is really dynamic, actually. And I think she brought a dynamic, a charisma to the part that could have very much felt like one note because of the fact that she was mainly, they're trying to get the pieces of this vase or something and things of that nature. And that was kind of her main thing in like every scene of trying to get these pieces. And it could have become very one note, but I think the actress and just, the whole character just really, made it so that there were layers with it, where you did want to know her backstory. And kind of like with most good villains, you kind of question if her evil plot line is really evil at all, with the whole idea of her wanting to, kill off mankind and drown them and leave the mer people and the sirens and all that because of what man does to people who they think are different. And you kind of wonder, well, is that really a bad thing? Oh, well, yeah, she wants to kill humans. I die. But, I kind of also understand why she wants to. Plus, I really liked her and Dylan together, although that was a doomed ship. They doomed it. It was because, her in her current state, she can't really love anybody. It's very clear because she's been hurt and she's kind of got this one-track mind. But the potential for her potentially maybe somewhere down the line getting to the point where she could try not to be wanting to kill everyone who isn't a half-siren and isn't a siren themselves, I think that shows great potential. And I think the actors, Adriel and Dylan, the actors who play them, had such great chemistry where you were just like, I want to see this dynamic. Why is Dylan so into her? You kind of know, but it's like, it'd be nice to kind of see the beginning of how this came about, of his loyalty to her. And I thought they were one of the better couplings. There were a lot of coupling up in this show, and they were one of the better ones to me in terms of their dynamic. Although it was doomed, and she stabbed him. She definitely stabbed him. And I know the show, somewhere like halfway through, they started really pushing Dylan and Cal. And I guess I got it, but I also felt like I don't like to be kind of told in a show through messaging who I should want to be together. I kind of want to decide for myself based off of the writing, based off of the characterization, based off of how people interact. And I feel like they did start trying to really push the two of them together, Dylan and Cal, but I don't think it was as dynamic. It wasn't that it was bad, it just wasn't as dynamic as Dylan and Adriel. I dug the Widows Club. I thought that was a cool dynamic. I like the whole thing with Cal and her not actual mother
And this whole idea of her, like, the mother being unapologetic of, like, I hate you. Like, I hate what you stand for, because what you are part of, who you are half of, is responsible for killing so many men of this town. And I think, the whole thing of the Widows Club and whatnot, of how they came about, was so cool. And I'm like, I'm kind of interested to see if they're gonna, follow through with that more in season 2, and what that means, the dynamic of that, of the Tidelanders being, together with these, trying to coexist with these women who have basically decided, screw you guys. And they're somewhat justified, right? Sirens do lure men to their deaths, and these men who are usually married to women, human women, and so they're losing their husbands, and their husbands are impregnating these sirens, and then you got these Tidelanders who are basically the bastard children walking around. I mean, it's a lot. I dug the folklore. I thought that was very cool. The whole thing about, Tidelanders don't grow old very quickly, so they slowly age. I thought, it's a nice plot device, right? So it makes it so some of the Tidelanders are around for like decades, and they don't grow old because they probably live for hundreds of years. And so that's a nice way of kind of setting up the universe and the world. And I like the fact that they were digging into folklore and the idea of Tidelanders being persecuted, sirens being persecuted. Yeah. I'm just glad they're not vampires. I'm so over vampire shows. Although I will probably watch the next one that comes out. I liked Augie. I thought that whole drug storyline, that was very Sons of Anarchy, wasn't it? I'm not sure how I feel about Augie and, the woman he was having an affair with. But I guess it's not an affair anymore, because her husband was the first one that died in the show, and the whole thing was, though, she was sleeping with Augie, and I don't know if I believe that he's in love with her necessarily, but they had chemistry. All these people had chemistry. There was a lot of coupling swapping, and I dug it. And now she's part of like the Widows Club, but I'm also like, you weren't really necessarily a loyal wife either, so why are you mad at a siren? It's messed up what Adriel did to Vioka's. But, Vioka was also, betraying her too. So it wasn't like they were bestest of friends. This is this gray area, right? Vioka made it so that little boy lost his eye. So she's not necessarily all good, but this is what I'm talking about. I like that whole gray area. Not all the characters do great things all the time, but sometimes they have great things they should be doing and they can do. There's potential, and there's also the gray area. Okay, so it wasn't a perfect season. There was definitely some things where I was just like, And one of those things was the Cal, Dylan, Corey situation. Oh my gosh, poor Corey. Why did they kill Corey off? I didn't get that. I was like, well, he's a nice cop. Why he gotta die? But that whole triangle or whatever that was, I didn't care for. This is what I'm talking about again when it comes to the Cal character of, I feel like she started to descend a little bit into a Mary Sue, in the sense of suddenly she was so good at doing stuff. Suddenly she was like, everyone saying how special she was. This chick was in jail for 10 years. I'm not nothing against, someone who's in jail, but this idea that she's like, she's gonna change if she goes to the Tidelands because Adriel's gonna corrupt her. In the beginning of this season, this chick basically beat these other 2 women up. And then throughout the season, she was picking fights with people. Like, straight up, like, hooking people. You know what I mean? Like, what's this whole idea she might get, corrupted? No, I think she's already a little bit on the dark side here. So it was a little weird that the way other characters were talking about her, like she was some pristine person in comparison to Adriel, and she wasn't. And I think when Cal lured that person to their death, she said she kind of liked doing it. So there's that darkness in her that they might explore in season 2. But I just thought it was too quick how they got to the point where it was about her and Adriel facing off. I was just like, we should have had at least another second season of maybe Cal being learning how it is to be a half-siren woman, and then maybe getting to the point where she challenges Adriel to be queen. Give Cal someone new. She's been away for 10 years. She doesn't have to fall in love just yet. Although there were brown people and people of color sprinkled throughout, I don't think there was enough, given the kind of thing that Adriel talks about, colonization and things of that nature. And you're going to talk about this thing of people of the land being massacred and persecuted, and you don't have more brown people around. So overall, my predictions for the show going forward is, well, it seems like Cal is maybe the queen.
I think it's too soon for that, to be honest. I think I would have preferred Adriel still being the queen and maybe Cal being part of an uprising, maybe all of season 2 or something like that. I'm not sure how the drug thing is going to go now that Augie has lost most of his crew, but that'll also be interesting as well. I think what needs to happen, though, is that we need more Adriel. I like Cal as a protagonist, but I do think you need more of Adriel as a character. I think she'd be more interesting to focus on. And so I would like to see more of that in terms of her just being more around. And I just think it's more interesting dynamic instead of her just being, I'm the evil queen. I'm not saying I need a redemption arc for Adriel, but it would be nice to allow her to be the gray area. And I just think she was the most dynamic character of the season. So it'd be kind of messed up if she's just suddenly on the run or something like that. Too much on the randomly everyone starts screwing thing, but it's that kind of show. So you just kind of have to embrace it, have a little drinking game about it. But overall, I really like this season. So I'm hoping it gets to season 2 for sure. All right, so what did you think of season 1 of Tidelands? Let me know. Do you think I'm completely wrong and wanted Adriel and Dylan to have a true love story? Let me know. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And also, be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know when I post my videos of all things horror. Thanks for watching. Let's get creepy together.